All right, so AI. It seems like it's everywhere these days. But have you stopped to think about, like, what happens when it really, really takes off?
It's a pretty big question. Yeah.
I mean, like, what happens to our jobs when machines can do, like, almost everything we can do, but better and faster?
Right, right. It's kind of a big deal.
For real. So that's what we're diving into today, right? Looking at, like, what the experts are saying. And actually, we've got some pretty wild potential scenarios here.
Yeah, the sources lay out 5 main possibilities, everything from, well, not great to surprisingly optimistic.
I'm intrigued. But before we jump into that, for anyone listening who isn't totally up to speed, what exactly are we talking about when we say AI is going to, like, take over jobs?
So we're basically talking about automation. Machines and algorithms like taking over tasks that humans currently do. Everything from, driving trucks to writing code to even like diagnosing diseases.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah, that puts it in perspective.
Yeah, and the thing is, this isn't like some distant sci-fi future. It's already happening.
True, true. Okay, well, with that in mind, let's get into those scenarios. Starting with, what did you call it, the worst case?
Yeah, the worst case.
So, like, how bad could things actually get? Paint me a picture of this AI dystopia.
Okay, well, buckle up. So in the worst case scenario, we're looking at mass unemployment. Like, not just for blue-collar jobs, but white-collar jobs, too.
Oh, wow. Like, even, like, doctors and lawyers and stuff.
Potentially, yeah. One study here estimates, get this, over 80% of current jobs could be automated within the next, 2 decades.
80%. That's terrifying.
Yeah, it's pretty bleak. And the thing is, it's not just about losing jobs. It's about what happens to society when that many people are out of work.
Right, right. What does that even look like?
Well, some sources highlight the potential for, widespread social unrest. Think massive protests, riots, even potentially the collapse of democratic institutions.
Wow. Okay, so maybe stock up on canned goods and bottled water just in case.
Maybe, yeah. But let's hope it doesn't come to that.
Fingers crossed. Okay, so that's the absolute worst case scenario. What about, you said there was a less bad case?
Yeah, so the less bad case isn't exactly sunshine and rainbows either.
But it's better than total societal collapse, right?
Well, hopefully. So this scenario looks at the idea of make work jobs.
Make work jobs. What's that?
So basically, it's like creating jobs just to keep people employed, even if the work itself doesn't really, contribute to the economy.
Oh, I see. Like, I don't know, paying people to dig holes and then fill them back in again.
Exactly, yeah. Or those public works programs they had during the Great Depression.
Okay, yeah, I get it. But, I mean, that doesn't seem very sustainable, does it? Like, how do you pay for all those pointless jobs?
Yeah, that's one of the big questions. And then there's the psychological impact.
Oh, right.
What happens to people's sense of purpose and self-worth when their jobs lack any real meaning?
Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, so maybe not the best solution either. What's next? The mid case.
Right, the mid
Yeah.
case.
So this is where things start to get a little better. Right.
Well, it's more like a less dramatic version of the bad stuff.
Okay. So what are we looking at here?
Basically, it's the idea that maybe things won't move quite as fast as some people are predicting. Maybe there's regulation or ethical debates or just unforeseen technical challenges that slow down the pace of AI automation.
I see. So like instead of a sudden tidal wave of unemployment, it's more like a gradual shift.
Exactly, yeah. So we're buying ourselves some time to adapt.
Okay. But I mean, wouldn't that just be delaying the inevitable? Like, eventually the robots are still coming for our jobs.
That's the big question. Is it a way to manage the transition, or are we just kicking the can down the road?
Tricky. Okay, well, let's move on to something a little more upbeat, shall we? Tell me about the good case.
All right, now we're talking.
Is there actually a scenario where AI benefits? Like, everyone, not just the tech giants.
So in this scenario, AI doesn't destroy the economy. It supercharges it.
Okay.
Imagine AI-driven productivity generating so much wealth that we can, afford a robust social safety net.
Oh, interesting. What does that look like?
Think universal basic income, free healthcare, education, maybe even, free housing for everyone.
Wow. So people could basically just do whatever they want, like pursue their passions, start businesses, or just, chill and enjoy life.
Exactly. This source even suggests that it could lead to a huge boom in creativity and innovation because people would be free to explore their interests without, worrying about survival.
That actually sounds pretty awesome.
Right. But it does raise some interesting questions about, how we define purpose and fulfillment in a world without work.
Yeah, that's true. Like, would we all just become lazy blobs, or would we find new ways to contribute to society?
Exactly. It's a fascinating thing to think about.
Okay, so that's the good case. What about the last one, the wild card?
Yes, the wild card. This is where things get really interesting and a little bit scary.
Okay, lay it on me.
So this scenario imagines AI achieving like a level of intelligence that's beyond human comprehension.
Like Skynet from Terminator.
Well, maybe not that dramatic. But the point is, this AI could potentially develop its own goals and motivations independent of humans.
And we have no idea what those goals would be.
Exactly. It could be benevolent and, help us solve all our problems, or it could be, well, not so benevolent.
So basically, it's a total crapshoot.
Pretty much, yeah. This scenario is less about predicting the future and more about acknowledging that with AI, we're venturing into uncharted territory. We just don't know what's going to happen.
Well, that's both exciting and terrifying at the same time.
Right.
So after exploring all these scenarios, what's the takeaway? Like, what should we be doing today to prepare for this crazy, uncertain future?
The most important thing is to remember that the future isn't set in stone. Our choices and actions today are shaping it.
Right. So, like, what can we actually do?
Well, for starters, we need to be having these conversations, thinking critically about the potential consequences of AI and working towards solutions that benefit everyone, not just a select few.
Absolutely. And on that note, I want to leave our listeners with a thought. We've talked about all these potential scenarios, but what role do you want to play in shaping the future of AI? What kind of world do you want to see? That's something to think about. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks everyone.